Every experience will pass. A love once felt seems to be lost. Thought comes in with this or that. The bliss makes space for feeling flat. We're holding on to at all cost. It's so simple, it's bizarre. Love is who you really are. Love is freedom, love is truth, love is consciousness, it's you. You're not that old repertoire. There is nothing outside of love. There is only you. Everywhere you look, everything you touch, every experience, it is all a plain you. There's sometimes clarity, sometimes smoke. You're sometimes rich, you're sometimes broke. You're going up, you're feeling down. It looked so great, but now you're drowned. Can't you see it's all a joke? Because there is nothing outside of love. There is only you. Everywhere you look, everything you touch, every experience, it is all a plain you. There is nothing outside of love. There is only you. Everywhere you look, everything you touch, every experience, it is all a plain you. It is all a plain you. It is just a game in you.
Hello everyone and welcome. It's lovely to see you all, and also welcome to those that we can't necessarily see, because there are some people perhaps joining us on the live stream on YouTube as well, so welcome to you as well. So today's theme is how can I know oneness? So each month, at the moment it's monthly, and we may change that at some point, but each month we hold these webinars on different themes. And I'd love to hear from you if there is a particular theme or question that you would like me to hold one of these live stream webinars on. So you're welcome to email us at the admin@dietolove.com email address with your suggestions for themes. It's always nice to have some inspiration for a theme. So let's start by just getting comfortable and closing our eyes, taking some deeper breaths into the belly. And with each breath, bringing our attention more and more here, now. This moment, this experience. letting go of whatever else was happening in your life before the start of this session. Really using the breath as an anchor to this present moment. And the breath is always this anchor. Anytime you notice that there are a lot of thought stories or disturbance going on, you can always bring the attention back to the breath. It is always happening presently. It is always simple. It's happening by itself. No effort required. So we can just be with whatever is here. And you can also notice the physical or emotional sensations. How is this body feeling right now? What's happening in this human experience? And whatever you notice is here is absolutely welcome to be here, just the way it is. It doesn't mean anything about you. It's not a problem or an achievement. It's just here, just the way it is, for no reason at all. Just this happening now. And if you notice any thought stories, they're also welcome to be here. And they also don't mean anything about you. And if you notice that you're drifting off into some story, fantasy, you can just gently bring the attention back to this anchor of the breath. As we are noticing whatever is happening in this human experience, there is also simultaneously the knowing of, or the awareness of, whatever is happening, whatever is experienced. In fact, we cannot know the experience without the knowing of it. It's not separate from it. And this knowing of whatever is here, this is what I call your true nature, who you really are, that knows it all, sees it all, without exception. Nothing is outside of that knowing. Nothing is separate from that knowing. So let's again bring our attention to the breath, taking some deeper breaths. And with each breath, bringing more life force, life energy into this body. And when you're ready, we can open our eyes. If you need to have a little stretch or move your body a little bit, you can. So our theme is, how can I know oneness? So on the path, the spiritual path, we are usually motivated by the pain of separation. Right? We feel the pain of a kind of disconnect in our world, in our human experience, where the norm in our world is usually to believe that I'm located in here and you're located in there, and we are separate, and that when I'm in here, the world is all outside of me, and I'm navigating and negotiating with the world, trying to connect, trying to fit in, trying to find a sense of belonging, trying to relate with others, trying to connect and meet and be met. And there can often be a longing, a really deep longing to meet, to meet beyond separation, because it seems that there is this game, this play, as if this separation is really real. And when we believe that game, and then all the beliefs around that fundamental belief in separation, then it's a very painful game. Yeah. Because when we really believe that I'm located in here, it can feel very lonely, very isolated. And somehow we have a sense that it's not true. Not a logical understanding, perhaps, although we may have, of course, picked up lots of spiritual concepts that we hold on to. But in our experience, in our daily interactions, there's often this sense of longing to meet in a way that goes beyond the thinking, beyond the trading stories when we meet each other, but really to meet in that oneness that we really know. We know it because we are that already. We all are that, without exception. There's no one that is not. In fact, there is only oneness here. There's oneness pretending to be separate entities. That's the game of that oneness plays with itself. But when we are within that game and we are taking that game very seriously, and we don't see it as a game, and we see it as real, and then we experience real separation. But because we are essentially that oneness, we have a sense that this is not quite right, this game of separation. It's not quite the truth. And we tend to go around in our lives in search of that true meeting or true acknowledgement of the oneness that we already know that we are. But of course we overlook it. We know it, but we overlook it, and we doubt it, and we assume that that must not be anything true. We believe our thoughts. And when we believe our thoughts, the nature of thought is to divide things up, to separate things, to say this is this and that is that. That's the nature of thoughts. It's the nature of words and language. So, and anytime we put a label on something, we are saying that it is separate from anything else. And so we believe our thoughts, and this then is experienced as being very limiting and painful. But when we're so in that, it can be very, almost impossible, it seems, to find our way out of it, find our way to something true and real when when we're believing our thoughts. And of course, everyone around us is also usually believing in their thoughts. So it's very hard to find this conscious acknowledgement of the oneness that we really are. And we tend to search in the world, right? We're kind of going to each person that we meet, and we're looking for some kind of truth there in different forms, maybe not in those words, maybe it's not so conscious, but we're looking to really be seen and to really be able to show ourselves in a way that is beyond boundaries, beyond any need to protect ourselves or defend ourselves. And we never find it in the world, really. All we find in the world are temporary moments. There might be beautiful moments of like a sense of oneness, where we, perhaps in a moment, for example, when we fall in love and we merge into each other's eyes, and feels that there's a real melting and merging. But this is always going to be a temporary experience. Same as if you go into nature and you might have a beautiful experience of a sense of oneness in nature, or beautiful spiritual experiences in meditation or any other time. But these experiences are always going to be temporary. And then they just provoke more of a sense of there's something missing, because you have that experience of merging or oneness, and then it passes, so it feels like, oh, I've lost something and I need to get it back. But we're searching in the wrong place to know the oneness that we are. It can never be known in the play of experience, because it is who you already are. And so if you're looking in the play of experience, you are only ever reinforcing this play of separation. You're saying this special experience is it and the rest is not. All the experiences that I don't like, that's not oneness. But of course that's ridiculous, because oneness is oneness, right? It includes everything without exception. Whether the thinking likes that or not, whether your preference is for that or not. Oneness is radical oneness, right? It's not just a concept, not just a beautiful spiritual concept. It is real, it really includes everything without exception. And so that cannot be found in the play of experience. And to really know what I'm saying, to know that it cannot be found, you have to go through perhaps some years, some long period of your life searching and failing to find this oneness. Perhaps searching and having these temporary beautiful experiences, and then realizing that they inevitably will pass. Hoping again, and then failing and falling into hopelessness. This is what often happens to so many people on this path. And then eventually you might realize that you've been looking in the wrong place, that it's not to be found in the world. So then we start to look within, right? And within, at first, still within somehow is still in the world, because we're looking for an experience in meditation, perhaps, or an experience even in our kind of personal world. But even there, it cannot be found. It is not even a case of finding it in a kind of meditative experience. There is no experience that is this oneness. I mean, or we can also say it the other way around, that every experience without exception is oneness. So true oneness is about actually acknowledging who we really are, that is aware of it all. And when we acknowledge that, it's not about having a special experience, but there may be a kind of byproduct experience of an experience of merging, or an expansive, blissful experience. And those experiences are beautiful, but they'll always be temporary. So we should not be confused by these byproducts. The oneness is who you are always. And it is playing in the world, right? So the world is an expression of the oneness that you are. So every experience in our lives is an opportunity to know myself like this or like that, or in this flavor, or if in this interaction, in this challenge, in this problem, in this heartbreak, in this joyful experience. It's always an opportunity to know myself. So every person, everything that we interact with, everything that we experience is myself, life itself, but myself knowing myself. When we don't believe our thoughts, then there is no separation. Thoughts are the tool of separation, as is time, right? When we believe that the thoughts that talk about time, then we believe that I'm someone separate living in time. And this again is the play as if there is separation. But if we see it as just a play, then we can play fully in this play of oneness, of separation. I mean, it's oneness playing as if it's separate. We can play fully as if we are separate. But we always know that this is just a play of myself, playing with myself. But I'd love to hear from you now. If you have any questions about what I've shared here or anything else relating to this theme, you're welcome to raise your hand. And also you're welcome to type a question in the chat if you would like me to speak more about something. But I'll give also more priority to the live dialogues. But if we have time at the end, we can look at the chat. Yeah. Loda.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, this thought just came up while you were talking. So, okay, now this is something that I've read and heard before, but it never really resonated as strongly as now to directly hear it from you, where it seems like it comes down to you have to do nothing. There isn't even anything that you could really do. It's just, but we always think, no, I got to do something, right? Otherwise, nothing will happen, right? But it's already happening, and yeah, it's. I guess what you just said, just accept everything to be as it is now.
Even that is too much to do.
Okay, yeah, okay, yeah, I see.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, when you say that there's nothing to do, I mean, or there's a trying to do something, the question that comes to me for you is, so what are you trying to do? I mean, why, what are you aiming for, The thinking wants to do something, but what's the goal?
Yeah. Well, the idea then is, well, this can be it. It must be better than this. And so let's see, what can I do to get there? Right. That's the idea, right? But it's okay too. But now that I hear you speak, yeah, it begins to dawn that, okay, that's okay too. We'll let it all be as it is. There's not even a choice in a way. It might seem that you could choose, okay, I accept everything as it is now. That's okay too. Yeah, that's not against it, I guess, right?
There's nothing that's against it. It's all, as I said, it's all a play of oneness playing at trying to find oneness,
Right. Okay. I wanted to ask you, how is air doing?
How is what?
Air.
Air.
Yeah.
What? So I don't know what do you mean? I don't understand.
You don't know anyone that's called air?
Not that I know of. No, sorry.
Now that is really strange. I have in mind, maybe it's just all fabricated right now, but I have in mind that you had a son called air.
Oh no, Sky.
Oh, okay, that's why.
Air Sky. Similar. He's doing fine, thank you. Yeah,
Uh,
he's great.
it's great
Yeah,
to see you again. Great to see you again.
yeah. Thank you, Loda. Nice to see you.
All right.
Mm. Jean-Marc Lebel. Jean. You have to unmute yourself.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Question is, what does create the separation so far? What's the most important thing which create the separation?
When we believe our thoughts. You know,
Mm.
there is no separation, really. It's not that that separation is real.
Mm.
That it's not real, but it seems to be real when we believe our thoughts. Right? If you believe the thought that you are located inside your body, then that will be your experience, because thoughts are very convincing, and then the experience follows. So if you believe that you're located here, you'll experience that, and your whole experience will follow that belief. And that's why anytime you question these fundamental beliefs and you see for yourself that, oh, it's just a thought, it has no real, substance to that thought, then the experience can change also. But the experience doesn't need to change.
Mm.
Yeah.
I would have expect you to say the belief in a me. I mean, also that.
Yeah, but that's the same thing. It's the same thing. Like if you believe in your thoughts, then you're believing in the me thought,
Mm.
right? It's like the kind of fundamental, like the root of the trunk of the tree. When you believe in that thought me, then you believe in my stories, or my, all the other beliefs kind of hang off that fundamental one. But it's also just a thought. So it's not even really that fundamental. It's just a thought. Thought me. And it's not a problem, We can, when we know that the whole game is just a game, then we can play as if there is a me. It never means that there really is.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So just to add that for people like me, for example, the boundaries are not very clear between is there a me or not. I mean, or sometimes I'm really catch strongly with the thoughts. Sometimes much I'm not catch so strongly. So it's there are some variations and all the time, and I would be very happy to be absolutely free from the thoughts so far. I mean, but every day since years and years, I still
But then
catch.
there's one thought there that says, I would like to be free of the other thoughts,
Mm.
and it's that one that causes a lot of trouble. That one is like believing that it's in control, or that that one has a certain preference for an experience of no thought. But it's not even true, because that one is thought itself, saying, I would like to be free from thought, but it is a thought. these, the experiences of a busy mind, or lots of thought, they, that experience comes and it goes and it changes by itself. There's no actual me controlling that.
Yeah, I agree.
And even, when you say, like, for years and years I've had this, so much, I've been more caught in thought, and
Yeah,
who?
yeah, sure.
You're not the victim. You're not the victim of thought, Right?
But still, there is a feeling of separation for sure. I mean,
Yeah, when you,
being localized and separate and everything.
yeah, look, there may be a sensation that is painful, perhaps, an uncomfortable sensation, but that is also being interpreted to mean I'm in here, I'm kind of with this painful sensation. And, this interpretation is just a thought. It's, the fact that you have a sensation doesn't mean that you are separate. I would look at, like, what proof do you have of separation?
Yeah, no, not any.
And you're just believing in the thoughts that say that that this sensation means I'm separate.
Okay, so I can stay with that for now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Birgit.
Hello.
Where are you? I don't see you.
Can you see me?
Hang on. Where are you? Ah, yes, now I see you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, I just wanted to ask you if you can speak a little bit more about the difference of knowing oneness, like knowing, and knowing oneness by remembering with the mind.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, the mind is very sneaky with this one, huh? Yeah, yeah. I mean, it likes to come with these beautiful spiritual concepts, right? And then thinking, yeah, I know now, I know oneness, or it bases it on a past experience, or it's a concept. But real, the oneness that you are cannot be known by the thinking. So it will always fail at that, but it will inevitably keep trying. Yeah, it just can't be known by the thinking. Yeah, not much more to say really about that. It's just, it can't be known by the thinking. That's it. no matter how hard it tries.
Thank you.
Yeah, is that did you want to ask?
Yeah, no, it was okay. It's just because sometimes when you yeah, there can be confusions because you have an experience and then you kind of want to keep it there, but that's just the mind, anyhow. And
yeah, of course it wants to hold on to a nice experience for me, right? Or it makes a certain experience mean more than any other experience. But in fact, the reality is that all experience is of equal value. And it's only the mind that separates one experience, saying that is more special than the rest. So having some beautiful experience, in a way, you have to have the courage to see it as just as ordinary as, any other experience, having a cup of tea or whatever. And that's not always so easy, because the mind likes to make certain experiences really special, to hold on to them, and to really see that all experiences of equal value, it's completely flat. It's kind of boring for the mind, It's like, what? No special experience for me? Yeah. It's a letting go of meaning for me. It's the other side. I mean, in a way, what you're saying now is the other side of what Jean was saying before. Like, in a way, on one hand, you have the experiences of, being caught up in thought and experiences that you don't like. And then on the other hand, you have beautiful experiences of expansion and oneness that you do like. So on one hand, you're trying to run away from experiences you don't want. And on this side, you're running towards something that you do want. But both experiences are of equal value. In other words, it doesn't matter, the experience itself is irrelevant. That's not the point. We enjoy beautiful experiences, of course, but they pass anyway. Okay, thank you. Lucy.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, it's quite relaxing to hear that in a resigned way. And there's a thought going on right now. Why do I even bother? Why am I here watching this? And there's a stronger thought going, how hard I work at this? How much time and energy. Why am I doing any of it? Why am I doing any of it?
You don't really have a choice, I mean, you're also following a sense of what feels right and true, and that's all you can do. It's not going anywhere. It's the mind that kind of projects some future goal, saying you're doing it for a reason or to get somewhere. But when we don't give that any energy, you're just doing what you do. That's it, for no reason. There is no point, but that's okay. That's not a negative thing. Usually we believe that if something has no point or no purpose or no reason, that this is, a depressing thing, but it's not. It's just freeing, you know. And you're just here because you're following, you know, sometimes we call it like following your heart, or following what resonates, following your love of truth. You know, it doesn't have to give the me something, you know, because usually we are motivated to do anything or go anywhere when it's something for me. And that's why when you hear that, you know, there's no, you know, everything has equal value because there is no me, the thinking comes with, well, then what's the point for me? But there is no point for a me, but there is every point. It's just not for me. You know, everything has equal point.
Yeah. That seems such a low key, which is
It's
quite
no
nice.
drama.
No, it's just like this kind of underground river, and there's all this noise on top, thinking it's the river and everything else. Yeah,
exactly. Like there's these kind of highs and lows, but then underneath it all, it's just,
yeah,
you know, it's all here.
And then what about then, you know, like strong feelings like grief, you know, which is a very, you know, it's such a huge feeling at times. But where does that fit in?
Yeah, it's part of the experience. It's just something that when it comes, we have no choice but to experience it. Yeah.
But there can be such a me in that, can't there? You know, that loss.
Yeah, it's a thin line, that one, you know, because in the human play, you know, it is very natural to experience loss and grief when, you know, someone is lost, or, you know, something changes dramatically in our lives. And you know, it's very natural because part of the play of being human is the play of, you know, meeting and merging, as if there are two people meeting and merging. And if that is lost, someone is, you know, is lost there, then of course part of the play will be of a kind of, you know, separating out again. But it is all part of the play, as if you were separate. So it can be felt, you know, or experienced as a paradox, that on one side there's the human experience of coming together and going apart, but simultaneously there's the knowing that it is simply a play in oneness. So I'm only ever meeting myself and grieving the loss of myself, you know. But this is not a mental concept, you know, so we can't, I mean, we could try, but, you know, it's not about taking one of these concepts and saying, well, I shouldn't experience grief because there's no one here. You know, I know many people on the spiritual path might use these kind of concepts to dismiss the human experience, and say, well, you know, there's no me here, so I should just not experience any kind of grief. But there is the play, and the play, as if, is fully experienced. It's not just a conceptual play, you know, it's really experienced physically, emotionally, as if these humans are separate entities.
Yeah.
So then grief is part of it.
And even right now, that sense earlier of, you know, of that ongoing low level kind of isness, and then feeling the effort of the thinking. I mean, I guess it's just another thought then that wants to see that thinking as that's the, well, yeah, that's the effort, that's the problem. This is the real thing.
Yeah.
But even that's included in that.
Yeah, exactly, because that's just another thought that's saying that's not included or something. Yeah.
Yeah. It's endless.
Yeah, and thought will go on playing the game of separation. It's just that we have to just take it lightly, not take it too seriously.
Yeah.
So it's not about cleaning up thought or getting rid of thought. It's just about not taking it so seriously. Getting the joke of it, that it's just playing in the play of separation, and that's all it can do. So we don't need to change thoughts that separate into thoughts of oneness, because they're still thoughts, even if you have thoughts about oneness, they're still thoughts.
Yeah, thank you. That's helpful.
Okay, thank you. Well, I'll go to the chat now. Henrik, this question is not about what we should do. The question is, what should we not do, right? What should we not do? What is important to remember that, what is important? That is important to be away from. Or what, I guess the question is like, what might disturb or what might get in the way? I think that's what you're asking. What should you not do? There are no limits, because it's not about this play of experience. So I know that, on the spiritual path, we are often trying to purify these humans so that then they may be ready to know the oneness. And I would say that, again, this is based in a misunderstanding that, it doesn't actually matter how impure this human is, because the oneness that you are is always oneness. It is always embracing whatever is here without exception. And I'm not recommending that you live a very impure life, or whatever that means, because it's also about taking care of this human, right? Once you know that you and everything around, everything in this play of life is yourself, then of course you want to more and more take care of this human and of this whole play as much as possible. But it doesn't have to be about cleaning up and then I can know oneness. Yeah. So it's just getting to know, seeing these concepts and not taking them all so seriously. Who you are is already everything that you're trying to become. Yeah. And then Margot, hi on money. Sadly, I'm not able to speak because I have a really bad flu. Oh, and I lost my voice. Oh dear. I don't love it, to be honest, but fortunately the oneness loves it even when I can't. Nice. I just want to say that I was really touched by your talk. While you were speaking, my thoughts stopped for a moment and I really felt an experience of oneness, even though, of course, that experience passed very quickly. And at the same time, the oneness never passes. Yeah. Thank you for one more beautiful reminder of what always was, is, and will be. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. Yeah. And then, yeah, I don't think I have much to add about that. So that's why I'm just going on. But, yeah, beautifully put. And then Dennis, during a group meditation at a 7-day retreat, someone sneezed and the sneeze was beautiful. I immediately thought, that's just my awareness. Then I decided to drop the my and thought, That's just awareness. Suddenly, I understood that oneness is everything being exactly as it is. Before, when I had contemplated oneness, there seemed to be a barrier between myself and any object. Then I realized that everything is already one. The problem was me thinking that there was a me that had to become one with things. Yeah. In other words, the only thing in the way was an idea. So oneness was already here. Yes. Suddenly everything became wonderful. My mind produced an immediate image of a flood of milk chocolate. Oh. Everything became chocolate. I had to laugh. The experience did fade, however. Thanks for the reminder. Yeah, nice. I like the image of the milk chocolate. Yeah, but this is exactly the point, that when we believe that this is all happening to me, then that is the experience. And it seems such a fundamental misunderstanding, or such an assumption that we're making all the time, that I'm me, of course I'm me, or it's happening to me, it's my experience. And it seems sometimes that it's just words. Well, it is just words. But at the same time, when we are really somehow kind of hanging on to those words, there's a veil in between the experience and what we believe to be me. So we're kind of believing there's this veil of separation. It's not real separation. It's only a belief, actually. But because we believe it, it seems to be real. So then it's experienced like a veil. And we see that it's just a thought. Then the veil is not there. It's all happening in who I am. There's no separate me. Yeah. Oh, there was another comment, but it's disappeared. Okay. Yeah. So does anyone else want to ask something or say something? Jean-Marc.
Do you hear me?
Yes, I hear.
Okay, because I changed my computer and then that's the first time I use it.
Okay. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, for me, it seems it has something to do with stop fighting what happens. But that's not something I can do. That's only that I see each time I'm not okay with the situation. That's for me, it happens maybe more and more.
It happens what, sorry?
this kind of process happens more and more. I just see whenever I'm not okay with the situation.
Yeah, but at the same time, that can then become some kind of attitude to live by, because there are certain times when it's okay to not be okay with the situation, right? There are certain times when we need to say no. This is not right, but I hear what you're saying, that when the thinking is trying to be in charge, right? It's trying to be the boss and control life, then that's when we are still taking it seriously, and as if there is really a separate me in charge. But at the same time, within the play of this human experience, even if you don't believe that there is a separate me, there may still be moments where there's a real strong sense that this is absolutely not right, and we need to actually say and stand for that in some form. And it isn't a fight, in that, although sometimes you may be even fighting in the experience, but it's actually part of the flow of this life energy expressing itself like this, in even saying no, I don't accept,
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Shamak. And back to the chat, we have from Viorica. If my thoughts, sensations, emotions are not me or mine, isn't there a separation? Thank you, Unmani. Well, yeah, that's basically what we're saying. Yeah, if there is not the belief that these thoughts and sensations and emotions, or in fact any experience, are not mine, there is no separation. There is just simply the play as if, right? So, for example, right now, we are playing as if I'm talking to you, you are in your separate little boxes on your screen, and as if we're in different places, as if time and space really exist, and we are playing as if, so that we can meet and explore myself like this, in these different aspects of myself. And it's a wonderful play as if there is separation, because this is how I can know myself and experience myself. Yeah. So this play as if there is separation is wonderful and beautiful. It's not a problem. It's not something wrong that we need to fix or change. We just need to see that it's just a play as if, and not take it so seriously. That's all. Even when when the play is serious, because sometimes we do play as if there's certain very serious things happening. But even then, we are playing as if. Yeah. Okay. I don't know if that answered your question. Okay, well, we've come to the end of our time for today. And the next one of these open live streams is going to be after the holidays, whether you celebrate Christmas or Hanukkah or the winter time, whatever it is for you, it's going to be after that anyway, in beginning of January, and I think the next one will be on the website very soon. So I look forward to seeing you then. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. Okay, see you next time.